everyone, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Kadrian. Thanks for tuning in to the Weekly Grind. On today's show, we will be talking with some of the baseball players to see how spring training is treating them. And we will also get some details on the SJU rugby team going to nationals.
That's right, Kadrian, but first, let's talk about sex, baby. As many of us know, last week was Racial and Sexual Awareness Week. Anna Skemp will be giving us the inside scoop on some of the events, and we'll get down and personal with some of the CSB SJU students.
This is going to be awesome. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, and thanks for watching. We want to take this chance to recognize the new Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, who is originally from Argentina and is the first Pope who is not European. This March, we are transitioning out of the basketball and track season and are now headed into lacrosse and baseball season. But even in this lull, there are many things going on behind the scenes.
Today, Angel, JD, Beth, and Joe will fill us in about what's happening with the baseball team's spring training and with the rugby team's preparation for nationals.
I personally can't wait for the lacrosse season. The Johnny Lacrosse team is currently ranked number 5 in the MCLA D2 and has made an appearance at the national tournament 7 times. How about you, Morgan?
I'm definitely ready for sports to begin. This year, the SJU baseball players will be in the newly built baseball field as the defending MIAC champions. And who knows, maybe it'll give us some good luck.
I think it will, Morgan. Now let's set it off to the sports crew to really see what's happening during this transition period.
Johnny Baseball won its first MIAC playoff championship in school history last season, but poor form in 2013 has put the team's prospects for a repeat in temporary doubt. St. John's is now 3-4 through their first 7 games of the season, already 2 games behind the pace set in 2012. The team ranks 7th out of 11 MIAC teams in hitting and is second to last in team ERA. Last season, the Johnnies led the conference in ERA. But St. John's isn't concerned. The team lost just 1 all-conference selection to graduation last year, so inexperience isn't the issue. If anything, their depth is what has hurt them so far this season.
I don't think we're certainly playing our best baseball. Maybe guys are pressing a little bit because they know that we'd have a lot of guys back and they're expecting to have a great season, but it just doesn't come that easy.
The biggest problem for the Johnnies so far has been their inconsistency. They started the season with a pair of 2-0 losses that saw the team struggle for production at the plate. In their next game, they put up 10 runs. St. John's pitching has been suspect as well. After allowing just 10 runs in the team's first 4 games combined, the Johnny staff has since surrendered 10 or more runs in 2 of their last 3 games.
Yeah, I think it's a huge mental thing because we were returning everybody from last year, so physically we should be fine. I think a lot of guys put a lot of pressure on themselves to do well instead of just relaxing and playing the game the way they can. We have a lot of depth, so I think guys feel a lot of pressure to do really well when they get their small chance to perform, so I think that's a major issue right now.
Senior Connor Klein has been the Johnnies' best performer so far this season. Through 7 games, he is batting .500 while leading the team in hits, RBIs, and slugging percentage. According to him, his success comes from taking a cool and collected approach to the plate.
I think right now I just try not to do too much. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself because I know it's a long season still. Just take it 1 pitch at a time and not try to do everything in one at bat or strike everybody out.
St. John's is anxious to rediscover the form that saw them advance to the NCAA tournament in 2012. The team will need players like Klein to continue to step up if a repeat performance is on the agenda for the Johnnies this season. Another player that will bolster the team's postseason aspirations is senior center fielder Alex Powell, who missed all of last season with a wrist injury. Powell was an All-MIAC first-team selection as a sophomore in 2011, but his return to the lineup this year has been delayed by a nagging quad injury. He hopes to get back on the field for St. John's as quickly as he can, but for right now, he's unsure of when that will happen.
I guess it's hard to say because it gets sore with the different therapy stuff that I do. So that, and then also I'm going to have this whole week off until spring trip, so I'll be able to do stuff then. And so I won't really have to push it at all until we actually get on to Arizona. So.
St. John's will play one final doubleheader in Chicago before heading down to Tucson, Arizona for their annual spring break trip. The Johnnies went 6-2 during their spring break stretch in 2012 and will be hoping for a similar run of success in Tucson this season. But for now, the team is still waiting for the pieces to fall into place. For The Grind, I'm Joe Mellenbrook, Project 8.
Looking good, guys, and hopefully all that hard work pays off and we come up on top this athletic season. While waiting for the sports to be in full swing, take a chance to attend some events around campus. Last week was Racial Awareness Week. Speaker Tim Wise visited us here at CSB SJU and gave a moving talk about the racism in today's society and how to approach conversations about race.
Also, since this month is Women's Month, there are a lot of different things going on here at CSB SJU. Last week, Saima Wahab, the keynote speaker for Women's Month, spoke on campus. Saima is one of the only female Pashtun translators in the world and has worked in the Army as a cultural advisor. And next Tuesday, the 19th, is Natural Beauty Day, where women are encouraged to go makeup-free for the day and embrace their natural beauty. T-shirts for the event are available at the Institute for Women's Leadership office.
This should be a prideful month for all you Bennies out there. Other things coming up this month include the continuing AKS book drive, which ends April 12th. On Monday, March 18th, the poet Marie Howe is appearing for a guest reading at the Gretzky Family Theater. Also, you can now purchase tickets for 13 Pines. You can find the tickets on the CSB SJU website, and they are $5 per person.
So get ahead of the game and buy your tickets for 13 Pines soon. Now let's look back on some of the interesting history of Women's Month.
Thanks, guys. March is Women's Month here at CSB SJU, an entire month allotted to celebrating women's issues, histories, and leaders. The entire month is filled with events and speakers designed to inspire Bennies and other women to reach their full potential.
Stephanie Wegman Peterson, a graduate of 2010, has been assigned by the U.S. Department of State to serve as the U.S. Embassy's Public Diplomacy Officer in Benin, a West African nation. 1981 graduate Barbara A. Edwards Farley has been named the 14th president of the Illinois College in Jacksonville, Illinois. Margaret Murphy, a 1990 graduate, was selected as the 2012 CSB Entrepreneur of the Year by the Donald McNeely Center for Entrepreneurship. Murphy is a president and chief operating officer at Olson, an award-winning advertising agency in Minneapolis. Bethany Weltzko, a 2011 graduate, was awarded the Guardian Angel Award and the Daisy Award for Extraordinary Nurses from Sanford Medical Center in Fargo, North Dakota, for compassionate care as a registered nurse in the intensive care unit. 2010 Political Science and Peace Studies graduate Kristina Ceslia returned home to Bosnia and Herzegovina, where she strives to empower women through local farm projects. Dr. Gina O'Neill Wesley, a 2002 graduate, was awarded the Minnesota's Young Optometrist of the Year for 2011. Patricia Proshek, a 1984 graduate, has been named one of Finance and Commerce's 2011 Top Women in Finance. Honorable Patricia Millen, a 1981 graduate, was just appointed Chief Judge of the Workers' Compensation Court of Appeals by Governor Mark Dayton. Bennies are achieving great heights the world over. Women's Month is here to shine a light on those great women and inspire today's Bennies to follow in their footsteps.
This past month, we have heard a lot from notable women. We have heard from one of the only female Pashtun translators, a poet and performer, our own CSB president, and the program director for the nonprofit Breaking Free. Women have been proving themselves tough as nails for centuries. We here at the Weekly Grind want to know how much Bennies and Johnnies know about notable women of history. So we put together a little trivia for you all to chew on.
Hi, I'm Maddie Coca, and I'm going to go ask some trivia questions about Women's History Month. Let's go.
How many countries granted women the right to vote before the United States?
10.
26? 7?
4.
26.
7.
Oh, 26.
Correct.
In what year was women's suffrage achieved?
For the United States.
1920.
1920. 1904.
1920.
Yes. When was the first woman elected to Congress?
Oh. 1916.
Never. 1968.
1916.
Nice. The ban on what was just lifted this year?
In combat rules. Gambling for women.
Women to fight in combat.
Women's Month has been made possible by the Institute for Women's Leadership and the St. Ben's Senate. For the Weekly Grind, I'm Janie Gangle. Happy Sunday, CSBSJU. Back to you guys.
There you have it. Congrats to all you powerful Bennies who are making a difference.
Last but certainly not least, we're talking about sex. That's right, sex. This past week was Sexual Awareness Week on the campus of CSB SJU. The whole week was full of sexinars. The goal of these sexinars are not to promote sex, but to promote discussion about sex. Specifically, how sexuality may or may not connect to the issues related to environment, media, and relationships at CSB SJU. Anna and Janie got down to the nitty-gritty with some of the CSB SJU students to see what they thought about Sexual Awareness Week and sex in general.
Thanks, Cajun and Morgan. Welcome to the new segment called The Ugly Truth. This segment revolves around asking students questions that may be controversy, embarrassing, and even sometimes awkward. This week's topic is about sex and gender roles.
Throughout the week, CSB and SJU have had sexinars. Sexinars are seminars discussing the issues of separate but sexual, sex portrayed in the media, and sustainable sex. At the seminar about sex being portrayed in the media, a few shocking facts were given. 30% of teens had sex by 9th grade. 70% have had sex by high school graduation, and 70% of college students have said they've regretted the sex they have had. Students were involved in discussions about sexual issues and contraception at the seminar called Sustainable Sex.
And now it's time to find the ugly truth. So, Cody, how do you define hooking up?
I would define hooking up as like meeting someone at the bar and then going home with them.
I would define hooking up by like anything, like making out all the way to sex. It could be like anything within there, like you're like, oh, I hooked up, and it's just like a makeout session last night or something, you know, like really casual.
Yeah, I think it's anything with, like you could have sex or any intentions of not seeing the person anymore. So like a hump and dump kind of thing.
For me, hooking up can be anywhere from making out to having sex.
Jen, when someone tries to pick you up, where do you draw the line between creepy and cute?
I think it's cute when the guy is cute, no matter what. But sometimes if they don't leave you alone, or it's very obvious after like 2 minutes that you are not interested, then it gets a little bit creepy. And if they ask you outside your window and you don't know that they're there, it's probably creepy.
I would say cute is when someone just wants to know how your day is going, gives you a nice smile, but I would say I get creeped out if I look and then I find them staring at me before I see them.
Well, cute's just kind of flirting with somebody and just kind of getting to know them. Creepy is when the other person's just not really interested in you, and you can tell that, and you just keep going farther and farther.
What's your best pickup line?
Go for it. I had a guy come up to me and give me a now and later and goes, "You can have me now or later," and winks and walks away.
We found out that hookups mean different things to different people, and some of the pickup lines here are not the best. But that's the ugly truth. Back to you, ladies.
And there you have it, the ugly truth straight from the CSB SJU students.
And on another note, spring break is coming up. Just a week longer, Johnnies and Bennies, and we are off for a week-long spring break. I'll be laying in the sun, drinking mojitos, not having a care in the world.
Good for you, Kadrian. I'll be slipping down my stairs, drinking hot cocoa, and still looking like an abominable snow woman.
Either way, we want to hear where you went for spring break. Send in pictures of you and your spring break trips to our Twitter. Tweet us at #thegrind_CSBSJU. and we may feature you in the next show.
Well, that's all for tonight, guys. Tune in the Sunday after spring break for more campus news, interviews, and the ugly truth.
Good luck on midterms to all the Bennies and Johnnies out there. We will see you next week, and thanks for tuning in to The Grind.